God, no, no, do not, don't end it there, no. No, come on, you can't just... Damn it, ABC, renew the show for goddamn season 3. I can't wait. Oh, my God. I liked you, Nick. You have to be a piece of crap. Oh, hey everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's on the Tube, or welcome back if this is your 20th and final season 2 review of oh God, I'm so out of it. This episode, what the fuck? Like, seriously, they had to end it on a cliffhanger? No, oh my God. You don't understand, like, how, like, you, like, as soon as, like, we were getting to 11 o'clock, I'm like, no, they're definitely not going to resolve this in, like, 5 minutes. I'm like, oh no, they're going to leave it on a cliffhanger. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, so this episode, oh my God. Wow, I can't even collect my thoughts because, oh my God, this... Also, I'm sorry if I'm a little bit off tilted. I was just such in a rush because I have to get my thoughts out because this episode, oh my God. First of all, hands down, one of the best episodes of the whole series. I don't think it's better than the mid-season premiere, but I definitely thought this was definitely maybe even number 2 because just the tension of this episode, seeing everything happen, and also seeing Nolan deal with his greatest challenge yet, and having a personal stake in it, and whew, Jesus, like, I don't know, like, I'm still trying to collect my thoughts because I'm trying to process this episode. It's like, there's some sweet moments in here, sprinkled in to just not make this all doom and gloomy, but then just having this happen, oh my God. Oh man, I'm gonna have to go for the butchered recap just now because I need to process, because there's just so many thoughts happening in my head, so many theories, and it's like, oh man. Anyway, let's go for the very last time on the butchered recap for season 2 of The Rookie, the butchered recap. So we begin this episode with, we're getting Nick's version of the last episode through his eyes. So we're seeing Nick going through his day casually, then he's hearing the call about the guns fire shot, the car chase between the other rookie officer that the other rookies know. He's hearing all that, and then he gets a call from the Armenians, the head honcho that we saw in the last episode. He's telling Nick, "Hey, listen, that driver, that's my brother. You gotta get him out of this." Nick trying to be rational here, even though by this point we know he's in cahoots with them. He's telling them, "Hey, listen, this isn't gonna, I can't do this considering the fact we got a bunch of police officers on him. There's absolutely no way I'm able to sneak this guy out." But of course, like every gang member would on anyone they're trying to threaten, they don't care. You gotta get this done. Nick manages to get to be the first on the scene when Nolan and Harper are reporting that they found the vehicle, but the driver has been abandoned. Ironically, at the same time, he's pulling into the parking lot. Nick gets a call from the brother, the shooter, the driver, the guy from the last episode, that, hey, I got away from these cops. But Nick was just told that, hey, listen, they got your gun. The gun's in your car. And now the guy's like, hey, look, listen, I don't care about that, man. You got to just get me out of this. I'm not going to jail. Fuck that shit. Just get me out of here. Nick, being the guy he is trying to find a way to, like, okay, how do I get this gun off his hand, but then also not blow my cover? So a lot of balls in the air here for Nick to do. Nick's also sending private text messages and trying to figure out, how do we get out of this? How do we get through this? And I think then we cut to Nick with Nolan on the ride along, and then he's trying to figure out what to do. And then he gets the idea when they figure out they're about to pull a raid on, after they figure out that there's a mole in the police department. They figure out, okay, he's got to figure out, okay, how do I get the gun out of Nolan's possession? Because if the gun's not there, the whole case falls apart. So he decides to get the other rookie officer who had the whole car I forgot the name, who had the whole car chase in the last episode, who got shot by Nick at the end. He has her as a potential, like, helper to figure out. So when Nolan and him arrive on the scene to make the raid against the head honcho, he's having her to the car while it's unlocked to go get the lockbox box and get the gun out of there. So they got that taken care of. So, however, they figure out eventually that, okay, the gun's been taken, no one's reported it. Now they're going to check body cam. They're going to try and figure out, okay, who did this, who could have like figured it out. And that rookie officer talks to Nick, and she's like, listen, it's over. Like, my cover's blown. Like, the moment they see my camera was off, that's it. It's game over. And Nick's like, no, listen, look, you got to get out of here as soon as you can. Get home, get off the grid. There's money waiting for you to start a new life. You just need to get out of here. So she does what she's told. She heads to Nick, but of course, Noah and the others figure out about the RV connection. They manage to find her. The whole car chase ensues, and while the second car, the RV chase, the very, oh my god, the also this old ass RV starts falling apart during that chase. Nick gets a call from the Armenian saying, "Hey, listen, you gotta get rid of her. Like, she's a loose end. She's going to confess to everything if she gets to the cops. You need to get rid of her now before she gets there." Nick is not trying to cross that line because if he gets within murder, he's not gonna go back. So, but of course, like all gangs are, they say, we don't care. She needs to be gone no matter what. Otherwise, you're done too. So Nick gets to the Rose Bowl with the other rookies and the other TOs. He's trying to help them out, he also has to get Tyrion involved. Like, okay, how do I find a logistic way to kill her without, blowing my cover? And he discovers Nolan talking to her, and then he's realizing, oh damn, Nolan's talking her out of suicide. She's about to start confessing. That's Nick's opportunity. He goes for the kill. And yeah, that's kind of where we catch up on Nick's events. So then we catch up back to present day where Nick is meeting with the head of the Armenians, trying to tell him, hey, listen, that murder thing, that was it. I'm out. I'm not doing this anymore. But he's like, nah, man, no, you sold your soul to me. I'll tell you when it's over. But until then, you're mine. Your ass is mine. Nick tries to frighten him. Doesn't really work. He can't keep it up. And then from there, we cut to Nolan telling Harper about his revelation, telling her about, hey, listen, I think Nick might be guilty. He might be the other mole he might be just another mole. So Harper's like, listen, you got to make sure you're correct on this path, because if you go the other way on this, then this will destroy his career, and it might also destroy your career. If you make an allegation without having any solidified proof. So the two of them trying to figure out, okay, so how do we get this guy? We need to get his messages. We need to get his burner phone. We need to figure this out. Then they realize, okay, if we can isolate the burner phone, we might be able to get the warrant to try and get this phone searched and seized. So they have this whole little thing. But before we get to that, there's some other subplots happening that Wes and Diaz are trying to figure out trying to get on the shooter's case, and Wes is still processing his grief over the death of his fellow rookie. He's trying to go through that. Diaz is trying to push him, hey, listen, if you want to take some time off, go ahead. But he's like, no, I got to get this guy. This guy needs to be in jail for what he did. And that's kind of his motivation for the entire episode. He pops around, but Diaz and Wes doesn't really serve much a purpose for this episode. This is mostly Nolan's thing, and rightfully so. Meanwhile, Chen and Bradford are dealing with the impending departure of Bradford's girlfriend, Chen's friend. Bradford's still dead set. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take her to dinner. I'm gonna drop her off at the airport. We're gonna break up. That's it, so she can start a clean slate in New York. But Bradford's obviously, of course, given how he's starting to really gain feelings for her, he is very much starting to second question himself. And while he's trying to find this informant who's very close to the Armenians to try and get the bust on the shooter. Kind of a funny scene where they visit this underground stripper club, I guess, and he managed to find him. He's like, listen, here's a new phone, because they took away his old phone after the whole shootout happened. And he's like, okay, you gotta hit me up as soon as you figure out where they are. We need to make this arrest. And spoilers, they do get the arrest. They get him from that. But while Bradford was taken away on that bus to go have dinner, the bus was at the same time he was supposed to have dinner with his girlfriend, which didn't end up happening. And then we cut back into later on where Bradford does a romantic police pullover, and he admits to her, hey, listen, I was trying to get the courage to break up with you all day just so we can both not do the long distance thing, but he's having second thoughts. He's like, yeah, let's try and make this work. Let's see where this goes. So that was kind of like the nice way, because last season we had Bradford nearly dead by the end of season 1. At least at this point, it's like he's fine, he's going to come back, but now there's just going to be questions about how he's going to proceed with, what's to come next. So anyway, back on the Nolan case. So Nolan and Harper come up with a plan, like, okay, if we can, isolate him. So they do that. So they take a wrong Nick on this merry-go-round through an isolated area to get this isolation. Nick is really too smart for these two, as Harper said, don't drive, let him drive, so you have the opportunity if something goes south. But Nick's like, nah, Nolan, you drive. So Nick's too smart for them. Then they get, while on the drive they're talking about the case, they're talking about everything, going on. And, it's starting to kind of, Nick's starting to get the feeling that they may know more than what they let on, and so to speak. So when they get to the rendezvous place with Harper's informant, she tells Nolan and Nick to stay back. Nolan's supposed to be guarding him and trying to make sure he doesn't get near to the house, but then Nolan gets a call from Grace. Well, hey, I remember her name. Like, it took like so many flipping episode reviews to figure out his name, to try and figure out how the result of her making the push to try and see if she could stay together with her husband for the sake of their child. However, before Nolan can figure it out, he gets a call. He sees Nick entering the house. Nick figures out that this was kind of a bust, but then Harper tries to save her ass and saying, no, the guy just, he called her up to sell her some fake information so he can get the reward money. So Nick supposedly buys this, and he heads out to go ahead and I forgot my train of thought. But anyway, even though the original plan was a bust, they actually did get the isolation period. They get some isolation. They figured out that, yes, we got the burner phone number. So while they were trying to connect to that phone, it turns out that that's a brand new burner phone, meaning that any text or messages from yesterday, from the last couple of days of the events of the last episode occurred, it's not there anymore, or at least it's not on his person. So they got kaput on that front. So I think from there, Nolan has no other choice. He has to go to Rosalind because she was the one who knew about Armstrong, Nick's shading dealings with the Armenians. So he goes to her. Of course, she wants something. She wants some juicy details from Nolan, and she determines that Nolan does have a girlfriend, or at least has someone in his life. And she kind of forces him, listen, you call her up. That's what I want. Just call her up. Talk about the whole what's going on with the whole husband thing. Get that sorted with. So Nolan does. He calls her up, and it's not an easy conversation. Turns out, yes, Grace is going to go forward with the amendment to try and patch things up for her son. Nolan's trying to convince her, hey, listen, I've been down this road before. It's a mistake. You're going to regret it. I love you. Be with me. But she's not really accepting that right now. She hangs up, and Rosalind gives him the information that after he broke into my house to get the evidence he needed, I broke into his house, and I found out there was a secret compartment in his laundry room that has some very incriminating evidence. Not to exonerate her for her crimes, but enough to get him into jail. So Nolan decides to follow through with it, and he heads down to Nick's house alone. He doesn't tell Harper about it, which was a rookie mistake. And he goes in while supposedly Nick isn't there. He looks through the entire laundry room. He finds a fake wall behind the little shelf area, but it's all empty for some weird reason. However, before he's able to escape and figure out what the hell is going on, Nick gets a call. Nick comes back conveniently at that time period, washes his hand, gets a call from the Armenians. Hey, listen, what's going on? We need an update on this matter. Nick's like, don't worry about it. I'm not going to tell you anything, but it's being handled with. But like any sort of breaking into somewhere and then, being nearly discovered, an object moves, and, Nick, being the detective, goes in to investigate. Nolan smartly, I don't know how Nolan got out of there. I really don't know. I forgot, how did Nolan get out? Did he go for the window or something? Or did he hide? I really don't know how Nolan got out of there. But anyway, so Nolan gets out of there while Nick figures out that someone discovered his fake wall. Nolan drives out of there and manages to get away. However, meanwhile, while that's going on, they discovered where the location of the shooter is. They went to go get him. Harper tries to tell Gray about their investigation and what they've been trying to figure out, but Gray's like, not now. We got to catch this cop killer. That's the priority right now. So they go do that. Meanwhile, Nolan, probably trying to head back to Gray and the others, gets a call from Nick. Hey, listen, I know what you did. I know you were in my house. Come back. I know the jig is up. Come back. Let's talk about this. Arrest me, and then we'll go from there. So Nolan does go back. He heads back. Nick's trying to tell him why he went to the Armenians, that after his wife died, he was in a lot of debt with the hospital bills, and the insurance didn't really help out that much. So he kind of sold his soul to the Armenians to try and, get that money paid off. But in turn, he had to be a mole for them. However, while the conversation was kind of leaning towards Nick trying to convince Nolan, hey, this is my reasoning for that, so hopefully maybe you'll see past that I'm not really a bad person, per se. But Nolan's not trying to buy through that. He's just trying to get the arrest, get him locked away, and, get justice for the other officers that died on this matter. However, it turns out Nick had planned for this. Turns out Nick has planted evidence in Nolan's house that would make Nick's story of the events more positive. That Nolan was the one who was the other mole, not him. But Nolan's not trying to buy that. He enters a brief shootout with Nick, and Nolan manages to overpower him. Well, not overpower. He shoots him through the shoulder, and Nolan handcuffs him. However, Nick tells him, "Hey, listen, no, they're gonna go to your house. They're gonna get the evidence. You gotta get out of here. Don't report this in." And then Nolan puts two together because when Nick walked in, he saw that his hands were very gray and dusty. So, he determines that Nick wasn't lying. So he goes back to his house, frantically breaking apart everything he worked for. Like, the entire first half of the season was just him building the house, and then we see him just destroying like pieces of it, parts of it, and then we see him go into his bedroom, finding a very, very like horribly placed like cutout. He finds it. He finds the money. He finds files. He finds probably all the evidence Nick had against him, that Nick had against himself, now being placed onto Nolan. But before Nolan can even think about what to do next, the police start swarming in, and that's an end on the second season of The Rookie. Oh my God. I mean, they've really painted Nolan in a picture this season. They really did. Like, Nolan has not been having a really good few last episodes, especially now. Like, all the evidence is pointed on him. Like, Nolan's going to be, like, the number one suspect in everything, despite him not doing anything. He didn't do anything wrong, and it's like, he's trying to do the right thing, and Nick trying to get out of it. I mean, hopefully Harper's going to pull through and, save his ass. So, I don't know how they're going to figure that out next season, if we do get a next season. Oh my God, they really... I don't know, man. I really don't know how they're going to get Nolan out of this. Like, they have to. Like, Nolan is not guilty. Like, obviously they're not, but it's like, the evidence, like, I'm really hoping fingerprint evidence is going to help him out, but I really don't know. Oh, Jesus. This is still, like, a great episode. They really kept the tension up throughout the entire episode. Like, are they going to get Nick? Is Nick going to come down in this episode? Or what is he planning? And what is going to be the end game of this? And now with the way Nolan's priority right now is not to get Nick arrested, but his priority is to get himself out of this. And I really don't know how they're going to figure this out next season. But I'm really trying to, like, I'm baffled by this because, like, I want Nolan to get out of it. It's like, how is he going to get out of this? I really hope that Harper pulls through for him. I really do. Yeah, that's all I can say on the matter. Again, a great episode. Tension was fine. All the actors, top-notch performances. They deserve it. Nick turned from ally to villain. I mean, definitely puts my spin-off plans into, perspective there. But, all right, that's going to do it for me, guys. So, again, 2 thumbs up in my book. Great episode. Really hope we get season 3 so we see what happens next. Hopefully when we get through this pandemic. But until then, that was the end of The Rookie season 2. It's very bittersweet. This was the first show I picked to review for this show specifically. And now having that be over, like I've done 20 episode reviews for The Rookie, and it's over. It's really bittersweet. Yeah. I can't even get the words. I can't. Anyway, so that's gonna do it for me, guys. So if you were unaware, this was What's in the Tube from ActionX. If you were unaware, we do a lot of other stuff on What's in the Tube. We do Katie Clean chapter reviews every Saturday after a new episode on Thursday nights on the CW. We're about to start doing Stargirl, DC Stargirl. That's going to come out on Monday on DC Universe, Tuesday on the CW, and then we will have our episode reviews on that on Thursday nights. But if you only care about The Rookie, this was it. This was the last season 2 episode review I'm doing. Next week we are going to be doing the season 2 review, where I'll review the whole season 2 of The Rookie. Hopefully convince new people to come aboard, join along in this adventure. Hopefully help out on getting season 3. And then after that, we'll be doing either a season 3, get a hashtag renew season 3 push, and then also talk about my hopes and predictions for season 3 of The Rookie. And that'll be it on my Rookie coverage for its current television season. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm very I'm still like down because I'm still processing this finale, and man, this show better come back for season 3. If they ended on a cliffhanger, I'll never forgive ABC. I'll never forgive them. But anyway, so again, but if you don't care about The Rookie, we'll be back next week with the season 2 review. But again, this was What's in the Tube from ActionX. If you want to see more of us, please subscribe to ActionX on YouTube. Like, favorite, share of this episode review if you want to. It does really help us out. And follow us on social media. Ring the bell for notifications when we have a new episode review live. And I'll see you, Rookie Nation, next week for the season 2 review. But if you are only tuning along for the new live episode review on the new stuff, that's it for now. Let's hope no one gets out of this, and hope that Nick goes to jail, because that bastard, he might have good motivations, but he doesn't excuse what he did. Anyway, guys, see you. Peace out.